First thing to do, right, before we start, is these hook baits are not preserved, but they're not going to go off either, which is rare. Normally, stuff you put on the shelf in the shop that doesn't have to go in the freezer has got preservative in it. These haven't, which makes them even better. Now, what I've got is a tin of tuna in brine, and all I'm going to do is just pour some of that brine into those hook baits, just enough for what we're going to use for this session. Seal that up. And what that's basically going to do, all that tuna-y, salty water is soaking into what is already a brilliant hook bait. Yeah, so we'll leave them soaking. You can do that before you leave home if you want, but that combination alone is a brilliant fish catcher. But that's not enough for us, we're going to do more. So our tin of tuna in brine, the whole lot goes into a bait box or Tupperware dish or whatever. Anything you can nick off the missus basically indoors. Right, just smash that up a little bit. Just to get it all nice and separated so it's not in big chunks. And then the first thing I'm going to put in there is some pellets. These are 4mm super halibuts. And we're going to put them in first, basically so that they draw in some of the juice that's in the tuna. So with our fork, again nicked out of the kitchen, we just smash that around like that. And this is basically, I suppose normally you just use pellets, do you, in a bag mix? Yeah. This is just adding a whole new dimension to a bag mix, just with a tin of tuna. Obviously, it's going to go off, so you can only use it on this session. And if it's very warm, it goes off even quicker. So keep it out the sun if you're fishing with it in the summer. And probably get away with a few more in there. Just a nice small pellet. You could use a mix of pellets as well if you wanted to. 3, 4, 6mm, that sort of thing. Just give that a nice mix round. Now at the moment that's too wet to go inside a PVA bag, yeah? So to dry it out, what we're going to do is just add a little bit of this ground bait. Cheers, mate. Let's open that up. There we go. Right, this is a fish meal ground bait, so it's ground up fish. Very similar to like a boilie mix really. Very pungent and attractive in its own right, and basically what it's doing is it's adding attraction, but it's also drying it out sufficiently so we can get it in a PVA bag. And this little bit of extra effort, believe me, it makes such a difference to how many bites you get. Now, if you take this to your own local water, everybody will be round in your swim wanting to know what's in it, yeah? But it's very, very simple. A decent ground bait, decent pellet, and a tin of cheap tuna, and that's it. Done. Now that in itself is probably just dry enough to go in a PVA bag. If I pick that up, it sort of forms, but not quite. It's still a bit damp, but we can get that inside a PVA bag. And what will happen over the next few hours, all the juice will draw into that ground bait, into that pellet, and make it even better. So that's the mix done. Let's tie up a couple of bags, yeah?
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
You ever done this before? Made up a bag like this?
Yeah, but with pellets.
With pellets?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Very, very similar, but what I don't do is try and pick it up and pour it down there. I use the side of the bait box and just scoop it up, just a little tiny bit, and then with the compressor that comes in with it, you just push it down, put your thumb on the end, and then really give it a push, and then just push it out the end like that.
Right.
Take your compressor out of the way. You can leave that sitting in the top of it, and then just a simple granny knot, a simple overhand knot. Pinch the top of the bag. This is how to get it tight, and then pull the knot down onto the top of the bag like that. Same thing again, simple overhand knot, pull it down tight. So you've got 2 knots close together, and then cut between the 2, and that's your bag done. See, that's not melting. This stuff is moist, but it's not wet enough to melt the bag. So I don't make them up miles in advance, just as you're going to need them, but I'll do a couple up for you, and then you can have a go. So just scoop it up with the side there. Anything more than golf ball size is a waste. The thing to always think about is we're trying to catch them, not feed them. People use big bags thinking they're going to get bites quicker, and it actually works the other way. It takes longer to get a bite. So that's a couple done. We've got enough to get the rods out now. Once we're fishing, we'll get a few more tied, just in case we start getting bites, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.